Welcome to the quick start for mapping using MicroStation Connect Edition. In this video, we're going to take a look at how we can add in some geographic data. We're going to be using geographic shape files, which are a common format that is used for exchanging geographic data. So we're going to learn how to incorporate this data in that's usually supplied by a geographic information system or a GIS within our MicroStation Connect Edition mapping project. So we're going to go ahead and continue in the same file that we've been working in, which is the geo file that we created. And from this file, we're going to go ahead and attach our shapefile information. So the shapefile information comes in a geospatial vector format and is a very popular format used for data interoperability and exchange. The type of information that's included in these shape files can vary widely, but often includes boundary data, natural resource information, information about some of the infrastructure like the location of street lighting, etc. So lots of interesting information that's located in these shape files. The shapefile itself is actually a fairly simple file, and the data is recorded in the form of lines or polygons or points, and typically has the extension SHP. The items that are stored in the shapefile also contain attribute information that describe the items in the shapefile. However, shapefiles are really a composition file. And there are other pieces of information included here. So we have an SHP file, but the SHP file is dependent on an attribute database file called a DBF file. And then there's a lot of other pieces of information that go along with these shape files. So you attach a shapefile, and the shapefile goes out and finds the database information and reads all the attributes and some other information, such as the geocoordination information. And since MicroStation already is geocoordinated, we can use that to help us locate all of our shape data. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and attach a geographic shapefile. And we're going to go back to the same methodology that we used before. So we're going to attach some external data by using the reference system. So I go to Attach Tools in my Home tab. And from here, what I'd like to be able to do is attach a shapefile. So I'm going to go back to my my Attach tool. And I need to look for my shape data. The shape data is located in a different folder, so I go up one folder. And it's going to be stored in in this case, a folder called SHP. And I don't see anything in here, but because my files of type is not set correctly. So the first thing I need to do is set my files of type to shapefiles, or I can set it to all files. So in this particular case, you'll notice that there are two different shape files, one that talks about surface water and another one that talks about zip codes. So this is just the top file. If I actually did set it to all files, you'll see that there's the DBF file, there's an SHX file, which is the index of things, and there's a projection data file, the PRJ file. So the shapefile is actually comprised of many different things. I'm going to go ahead and attach the surface water shape. So I select surface water, and I'm going to go ahead and use my geographic coordinate system here, and I want to use the reprojected option. I'm going to leave all of the other settings to their default values. So in this case, all I have to do is click on OK. It's going to go ahead and read the file and attach that data. And let's just take a quick peek at that. You can see it attached a whole bunch of data here. Now, in order for me to see some of these things more clearly, I'll probably want to use my update sequence. And I'd like to move my surface water data up in its display sequence. So I'm going to go to Properties and Update Sequence. There's my surface water. It's being displayed last, so I want to move it up a little bit. Move it above the streets. Let's move those parks up a little bit too. All right, so there's my surface water information from the shapefile. I click on OK, and it updates the sequence. So you can see the display change in the background there. The next thing I want to do is actually bring in some of that attribute data. And this is actually done rather easily with MicroStation. I go ahead and select my surface water file in my references dialog. And I'm going to use element templates to help me here. So I have a variety of different columns. As you can see here, here's the file name column, the model that I attached in that file, the description, the orientation, and other pieces of information that's available to me here. One of these columns is called element template. If you don't see it, all you have to do is right click on any one of these columns here. And the right click function will allow you to bring up a list of available columns that you can display, and one of them is called element template. So I can use the element template column, turn that on if it's not already on, and use that with my shapefile. So I just want to come back here and confirm that I'm using a shapefile. There it is. Here's my template. And I click in this spot, the empty spot right here, right where the surface water SHP is. Click on that, and you can see that there is your ability to select element templates. Now, in this current case, it doesn't have any templates available for me, so it says none. So what I need to do is go ahead and pull in my element templates for this particular session. The way I do that is to go to my templates, and here's my templates up here in my attributes ribbon group of the home tab. And from where it says none, I'm going to come down and select manage. This allows me to open and display the element templates dialog. So there's my element templates. I can actually import element templates from another file, and there is already another file that's been generated here. I can import from an XML file. So this is going to import the XML data. And you can see that it's going to pull in XML data from another file. I need to go browse for that file, and that's what these three dots are for. This will allow me to go browse for my XML data. This is going to be stored in my data folder. So /quick start for mapping /data, and there's my geo templates available for me. So it's got my geo templates, which I want. That's where my XML data is coming from. I want to process my element template data and bring that in. There's other ways of bringing that template data in, but this is one quick way of doing it. There's all of my element template data. Now that I've got it all in there, I can go ahead and take a look at water, for example, and you can see this template is going to apply colors, it's going to apply line styles, and it's going to fill in things here as well. So once I've got that done, I can close that and come back to my references dialog, and inside the references dialog, now I can choose a template. So I can just hit the plus sign next to geographic data. And from here, I can pick up GeoWater and apply that as a template to my surface water file. And that is in place now. So here you can see, for example, here's the surface water data coming in with the blue color. So now that I've got my surface water information in, I can go ahead and fit my view and then do a save settings if I wanted to. So I can go up to File and Save Settings. Actually, I should have fit my view first and then do a Save Settings. Once I've got that, let's go ahead and try to do some more work with our shape files. So we want our zip codes, and those are stored in a SHP file as well. So I'm going to go back to my Home tab, into the primary ribbon group, and select Attach. As you can tell, there's a lot of attachment that goes on in this workflow. Oops, don't want to dock that. And I'm going to go ahead and attach another file. In this case, I'm going to do the zip codes. And I'll bring in the zip code data just the way I did the other data. So for example, I'm going to just do the geographic reprojected and leave everything else the way it is, and click on OK. So there's my zip codes. The zip codes is going to show me where all the individual zip codes within this county are. I'll go ahead and close this references dialog, but first, before I do that, I want to make sure that my zip codes is using a template. So I come back to element template column over here, and from the template column, I'm going to select zip codes, geo_zip codes. And that's going to apply that element template to all of the graphics in the zip codes shapefile. All right, now I'm ready to close this out. I want to do one last thing here, and that is to change my highlight colors. So I'm going to go to File and Settings, and on the left frame, I'm going to pick up File and Design File Settings. This is going to help me see things a little bit better. I'm going to change my element highlight color to red and my selection set color to red. So I'm using some of the magenta in the file. So this is Design File Settings dialog, color category, just change the two colors there. And now I can go back to my design canvas. Now, I want to go find some of the zip code data, so I'll need to go to my Explorer to do that. So from the Home tab, in the primary ribbon group, there is the Explorer. Now, the Explorer is going to let me explore some data. Go ahead and turn that on. I actually usually like to dock it over here on my left-hand side, just the way I like to do things. The Explorer has a variety of different pieces of information associated with it, so I can explore some of the file data. It tells me about the file name, what type of templates are being used here. So there's all those element templates that we looked at just a few seconds ago. So it allows me to probe the file for a variety of pieces of information that might be helpful to me. You'll notice it also has a little search engine built into it as well, so I can search for something specific. I'm actually after item data. And item data is going to be the attribute data. It's going to tell me about particular things inside this particular file. So I go to items, and I want to go to zip codes. So it shows, allows me to see those zip codes and the actual numbers. So I can actually use my zoom to function or transparency function or isolate function to isolate something specific. If I expand zip codes here, there's a whole bunch of zip codes, and it's not actually showing me the numbers, but because it's actually showing me the title. So what I want to do is actually go to the zip codes here and right click on it and look at the details. From the details, I can see my zip codes. There's the item, it's called a zip code. There's its identification, it tells me a little bit about it, and there's the actual zip code. Now I can actually right click on any one of these columns like zip code and sort it in an ascending fashion. And then it's sorted by the zip code number itself. In this case, I'm actually looking for the zip code 33324. And there it is. And I can actually right click on it and zoom specifically to that area. So it's like I want to find the zip code, so I can use the zoom function. And you'll notice that my graphics in the background change. It highlights that zip code for me. And as you can see, this zip code is where my project is located. So this allows me to look around and see things inside this file and locate things specifically by the actual attributes associated. So we'll continue on and look at how we can make some additional changes here and use this attribute data to help us out in another session. Meanwhile, we're just going to go ahead and fit our view and do another save settings. So we'll do some more work in the next video.